form. He said it's going to.
well.
He said it's going to be their final form. Is the final form of Reckless and Def just perfect CS, never trading?
We'll find out once we get into this best of 5. But let's also talk about some of the more specific champions. Tom Kench, Fnatic, had such a difficulty with this guy.
Strongest champion in the game.
Against AHQ, they had to try get past him, and eventually did, but it took a monumental effort. And truthfully, Fnatic were on the verge of losing that game to AHQ in the group stage.
That game was lost. All inhibitors were down, and there was just one team fight left. Fabian went crazy, won it for Fnatic. But Tom Kench is going to be such a problem for them. We haven't seen Yellowstar play more than once, and that was back in the final of the EU LCS against Origin. I'm sure he can play it, but if you don't play around your AD carry like Fnatic doesn't do, Tom Kench doesn't have that much value.
Yeah, and as for EDG's bans, I think since they're on red side, they may just be locked into the Gangplank, Mordekaiser, and Elise.
Yeah.
As I said many times, you don't want to give the Elise over to Reignover. He's already proven he will perform with that champion on the international stage, and it's just too much early game pressure to deal with.
And I definitely agree with the first 2 bans from Fnatic. Kalista against Def, you know he can play it really well. You don't want to risk that 2v2 bully lane. Tom Kench coming, we just said it.
On the bench again.
Fnatic doesn't want to play themselves right now with the style they're using, so instead they just ban it away to avoid Mako picking it.
And first pick jungler, it is Rek'Sai as Elise has been taken off the table, and ClearLab has actually had Elise banned against him 3 times this tournament already.
But we can really see what Fnatic is doing here, right? It's an AD carry ban and then 2 bans on targets that could buff up that AD carry or make him almost unkillable with the Tom Kench. So they know EDG wants to play around Def.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of the reasons that this matchup between Fnatic and EDG is so interesting, because it's such a top-focused team versus a bottom lane-focused team. Meanwhile, another standard jungler being locked in here. Gragas and Thresh don't give anything away from EDG's side.
And I think that's the key thing, because EDG knows Rek'Sai will be the first pick when they ban away that Elise. You're kind of saying, Reignover, take your second best champion now and also take that away from ClearLab. But he's played this matchup time and time again. He's fine with this. He gives the scaling jungler towards the team fights late on in the game. And of course, Thresh, we've seen from Mako, the pick potential these 2 guys have. And the way you can set up ganks in the bottom lane is very key.
I would definitely expect Fnatic to save their solo lane picks here, because EDG will have to reveal either their mid lane or their top lane first. I expect EDG to save mid lane pick for Pawn. So if you reveal the top lane, then Fnatic can actually counter pick top lane next round.
And this is one of the reasons.
Flex Cannon.
Yeah, Flex Cannon can obviously go, not support in this case with Alistar, but can go top lane, can go for Reckless or 2 Reckless as the AD carry. But what EDG can do with Koro now in this lineup, and why I think they swapped him in, and one of the reasons for it is the fact he can play a really good Gnar. Very safe matchup for him. He could even maybe go for a Malphite if he wants to, and take a lane where he sits back and he just relies on teleporting. He doesn't need any resources like Amazing J did to be useful.
That's a very good point. You know, will EDG also change their playstyle though? You know, while Amazing J did make a lot of his own mistakes, the team also did not help him very often.
We'll need to see how Edward Gaming play around their substitute on Worlds tonight. Last night, I mentioned that all of the Chinese teams have performed better after moving in a sub. Let's see if EDG can keep that up. 10 seconds left on the clock. Potentially seeing that Jace, but it might switch at the last second. What are they going to lock in here?
So, in case it is Jace.
Oh.
Okay, this pick.
And it is.
Can go to Def.
71 unique champions.
We were sitting here and looking a little bit at some of the solo queue accounts for
Solo queue
EDG.
spine pays off.
And Jace was one of them for Def. It is a flex pick and go into the mid lane as well. So we're just going to have to wait and see with the last pick. But this might really fool Fnatic if they haven't done the same scouting.
I would desperately want it to be Jace versus Kennen in the bottom lane for the most ridiculous 2v2 bottom lane matchup that we will have seen. But yes, in all likelihood, it's probably going to Pawn. You know, this is a Pawn champion. He's been such a great Jace for so long. But there is that possibility that they could flex it to bottom.
Question, if that is a flex, how do Edward Gaming round out their composition, and how on earth do Fnatic reply?
So look at what EDG has right now. If you are going to run a Jace in the bottom lane, you need backup. Because obviously for him to all in lane, he's going to go melee form, he's going to jump in on the cannon. So a Twisted Fate is open for them in the mid lane. That pick, combined with backup Gragas and Thresh to set up ganks, that could be scary towards the bottom lane.
Solo lane Jarvan or a solo lane Rek'Sai. Do you think
Huni will take it in top lane.
And he's done it before.
Yeah, we've seen this Jarvan before, and Reignover has never played Jarvan in competitive play. That would be a new one for him at least, but I'm expecting this one to go top into the Fiora matchup. EDG should know that could happen and probably will happen, but instead we get the safe Victor as well for February.
Now, if memory serves, when Huni did play that Jarvan top, it was against Elements, and the game was challenging, let's say.
He had a terrible start.
That's exactly it.
Nothing. And then, after like 20 minutes, his team was winning. He got like 5 kills, and it was like, oh, Jarvan seemed to work pretty well for Huni. But we didn't get to see that early game from him where he was super dominant. I hope it's going to be Twisted Fate for EDG. I think it fits in perfectly with what they're building
There's the
here.
flex.
It's going to be Jay's AD carry.
we get it? Oh, I thought it was so ridiculous. I know, when we brought this up, talking about it, we're like, nah, he's just playing around. But this is going to be the bottom lane Jace versus bottom lane Kennen matchup.
Could you ask for a more interesting way to start
Twisted Fate AD
the
carry.
quarterfinals of Fnatic versus Edward Gaming?
But again, let's just really quick talk about this Jace. What is going to do? Okay, the all-in potential is going to be very, very strong. You have backup from Clearlove, who loves to sit around the bottom lane. You have Lantern from the Thresh, you have CC set up, and then a Twisted Fate joining. They're even running triple teleport at the moment.
Also, Jace is actually a really good champion just individually against Alistar. If you queue up the knockback for Jace in hammer form, you can cancel the headbutt, and he won't be able to combo you. So he'll headbutt you, and you'll knock him back at the same time. Won't be able to get off that pulverized, and you'll be able to interrupt it. Plus, they also have the Thresh for Flay interrupts as well.
They're still sitting on triple teleport at the moment. Add in a Twisted Fate as well. That's in total 4 globals coming in for
and
EDG.
Featherman's running cleanse in that middle lane.
Well, wait until they lock. They did. They went into game with
Flash,
3 teleports.
Teleport, AD carry, death. It is happening, and it is happening here in London. Hit up Twitter with your votes. Hashtag FNC win if you think Euphoria is the way, or hashtag EDG win if you think Eulogy is the way. It's game 1 of the quarterfinals.
I'm so excited to see if EDG change their ways and actually try and focus on top lane now, because this Jarvan Fiora matchup is really, really snowballing. If Jarvan gets the first lead there, he can 100% Fiora. And yes, Fiora can riposte, but you have to have a really quick reaction time to riposte the Jarvan combo as soon as you hear the flag go down.
Yeah, I'm looking at a Jace and a Twisted Fate that's very easy to lock down for Jarvan once he gets rolling, or if he gets rolling up in that top lane. And there's a lot of CC on the side of Fnatic, Alistar, Kennen, even Victor with his own stun. So there's a lot of ways for EDG in the very squishy lineup here to get locked down, but so many teleports, long-range poke from a Twisted Fate and Jace as well, if they start grouping, having that 1-4 setup with Core split pushing on this other side.
All right, so, well, everybody's been on the teleport hype train for all of Worlds. Let's talk about what you lose when you don't take a combat summoner for your lane. Obviously, you're going to be weaker in the lane 1 versus 1. Really, that's supported by all of your teammates having the ability to teleport in if your opponents go aggressive. However, if Fnatic can go aggressive in multiple lanes at the same time and gain the advantage, then force them out of lane and have them teleport back, you can defeat them while they're on cooldowns.
But if I wanted to run teleport on my AD carry or on my support, I would do it against Fnatic. Because again, they are a team who does not play around Reckless and Yellowstar in the bottom lane. They will sit very often and farm alone and get no help. So if you know you always have your jungler as backup and a teleport from top and from mid, I would feel safe enough not running a defensive summon.
And look at the starts from the junglers. This is exactly what we're talking about for both of these teams. Reignover starts on the bottom side, so he'll end up top by the top side, you know, where he's usually around Huni. And Clearlove is starting on the top side. Well, he'll end up on the bottom side and have to try and help Deft.
And Fnatic is pulling for him, so he doesn't have to use an early potion. He gets the camp down faster and rushes towards the red buff, so he will be slightly ahead of Clearlove once he reaches that top side. But again, it puts Fnatic's bottom lane behind because they don't get a camp. Deft is level 2 already.
He's got himself a ward, some additional potions from securing that Gromp. And gents, the theory of the AD carry teleport has been explained well. Let's see if EDG's communication can step up Because with Amazing J, they did not look to be on the same page, but we have heard Analyst Desk discussing the leadership that Koro can bring, but he's also not on a tank, so he may also want some assistance and some support on that Fiora.
Well, he's had about 4 or 5 weeks now to practice the new meta picks up in the top lane, and while his performance in the playoffs last time we saw him wasn't great, he got benched. Amazing J stepped in for regionals and did really well. Koro is back and he's here for quarterfinals. Clearly the team believes in him.
Yeah, here we go mid though. Reignover, level 3 going for the Rek'Sai gank. Looks like he may be able to get, oh, he misses even the Praise Seeker, so he gets 0 damage out of it. Wasted very little time though.
Did show he moved
right
towards
through.
the top side of the map. So right now it's very easy for EDG. You can see Koro already gone back to his own tower because his team is communicating. Careful, Rek'Sai going on top side. Don't risk the combo from a Jarvan. That is so easy to set up a gank into the next knockup from Reignover.
Yeah, and he's actually using his teleport back to lane here for Koro. So that is 2 of them down. All three of them
down.
actually been expended. So I talked about working around those cooldowns for the teleports. All of these laners are much weaker in lane. Really, the difference is going to have to come from the extra Doran's Blade that Koro bought
Versus the
with
blue
that
buff,
purchase.
that Feathervin has now been donated. First one of the game. So already Feathervin had shoved Pawn in. Pawn's picked up that additional Dorans. Feathervin's going to have to do a little bit more work with that blue to maintain control against Pawn.
It's such a funny setup Fnatic run. The bottom lane doesn't get a camp alone. They give it over to the jungler or to Huni normally. And Reignover rarely takes away his own blue buff early on because he gives it to Feathervin. He can use it more in that mid lane. So they're trying to really split the resources quite a lot. And because they're playing a utility AD carry, they don't care about Reckless falling 5-10 CS behind.
They're paying it forward. Bottom lane gave a leash to jungle, then jungle gave the early blue buff
Then
to
they
mid.
gank for Huni.
They're such great friends. Here, look at this invade from Clear Love, though. It does get down some early wards. Now, as a jungler, whenever you go to your Raptor camp this early in the game and you see it not spawned, if Reignover goes over there and sees the Raptors have been cleared, you have to assume there's a ward in that brush. Because you've obviously been counter-jungled there, this is literally the most common ward that junglers will place early in the game. Right now, just because he just switched over to his sweeper, he doesn't have it ready to activate, but he's got to know that he just went through wards.
Instantly pinged the location, Kobe.
He'd get himself into trouble.
Well aware. Gold card is already primed. Reignover gets tagged, but he channeled the tunnel already and gets away relatively unscathed.
Yeah, Pawn jumped the gun there a little bit. They had him right where they wanted. Full vision on him, but pulls the trigger early.
Well, Mountain showed us yesterday just how slippery a Rek'Sai can be. Reignover sticking around for this invade, and there's seems to be a little bit of movement from the mid lane. The Death Ray catches Pawn. Reignover's not going to get the knock up, and the gold card did connect. Reignover's still got flash, is going to need to channel. Teleport's coming in onto the tunnel from behind. Huni throws down the Damascus standard, and the Dragon Strike, and it's first blood to Feathervin, but Reignover eats the wild cards. Trades 1 for 1.
Yeah, a little greedy there for Reignover. Goes back in, gets it with the auto and the wild cards, I believe, to go down for an extra kill. Fnatic would have had that clean first blood if not for that.
Not very often, though, we see Fnatic put so much attention towards the mid lane. Early on, Feathervin farms under control mages. Normally doesn't do a whole lot, but they really want to shut down this Twisted Fate. Early on, it meant Reignover showed himself twice, and EDG knew what was going on, but didn't respect the fact they didn't have a teleport from top, and Huni did.
Yeah, actually chalked that up to sort of a fumble by EDG because they were the team with more information. And they got played there. 3 teleports down, and they let Fnatic create a play while they were down in teleports.
Reckless just got chunked real hard down bottom, and Huni, he's been challenged. Koro in his first game at the World Championship flashes forward aggressively. Destiny gets channeled by Pawn, and Huni is caught by the red cards. Gate is revealing his vision. Koro lunges forward. Red card, yellow card, blue card. Pawn's looking for the trigger. Pulls it on the gold, but Huni's managed to get away.
EDG afraid of chasing in. They had no vision in this jungle. Didn't know if suddenly Reignover would show up, if Feathervin was nearby. And in the end, Huni escapes. First ulti used from the Twisted Fate of EDG, and it was not resulting in a kill.
And that is huge. What an outplay there from Huni. Waiting for Pawn to trigger the ultimate there and actually commit to one direction. Pawn actually committing a little bit too early there. But Pawn does have the early cooldown reduction boots, so that will reduce the cooldown for his next Twisted Fate ultimate.
Yeah, we're probably going to see the standard build for him, where he goes for home guards very early on, and you're not afraid of then just use your entire mana pool on pushing out a wave, recalling, proc the home guards, get mana back, and then go gank the lane. Obviously, Fnatic needs to constantly communicate. Whenever he's moving away from the lane, he has TP, and ulti will be up in a few minutes as well.
Because Victor can clear a wave so easily, though, he's one of the best at punishing that roam. Pawn went for the early play, and Forbidden's already up. A large amount of CS there in the middle lane.
Pawn's playing for the impact, though. Home guards again picked up. Reckless, we just caught a glimpse. A little lucky that his opposite number's gone for that Manabune build, so his Cutlass will be slightly more effective than the stacking tier. Gonna buy that AD carry a little bit of time to be more relevant.
There's some good things about the AD carry Kennen is on Cutlass and Blade of the Ruined King. He's very strong 1v1. Again, he can handle himself, he can sit and push out waves. Obviously not great wave clear, but the build we're going to see from Def is going to be that tier into Brutalized, into Last Whisper, and so on. Huni again getting jumped on by Coral.
Relatively even. Huni's Golden Age just blocked some of that damage. Cora's going to get some additional sustain.
Yeah, you can see how defensively Coral has to play. He has to run away as soon as his riposte is on cooldown there. Reignover does go through a ward, so he'll continue to play defensively. Right now, what you want to do is stay just close enough to keep Reignover around and waste his time. Clearlove actually gonna find him here.
And he's got level 6. Koro's challenged Huni. It's top v top and jungle v jungle. Huni's been procced. Koro's regen. Huni's got to run away. Destiny's being channeled. The dunk comes down and Koro takes a tower shot. Pawn gets a kill on Reignover. 2-for-0 EDG.
EDG is constantly reading where Reignover is going, and Clearlove had early level 6. Another teleport for the team, and they can just simply collapse onto Fnatic. Huni right now, every time he gets a one-on-one against Coral, he's losing it, and he just died 1v1.
With 3 teleports and Twisted Fate ultimate, it's ridiculously hard for Fnatic to keep track of all the globals here, so they have to be very careful and very sure of their vision when they go for plays like this. Plus, right there, Huni committing to the 2 versus 2, actually trying to keep Coral from converging on Reignover and save Reignover there, cost him big. Coral with the almost instant 4 proc of the Vitals, really well done there by Coral.
And that's why I would really like to see Fnatic just kind of sit back and say we don't have to go aggressive,
yeah, exactly.
Because our mid laner will never be able to follow. What Febiven can do is just constantly push in that mid lane, get a little bit of damage on the mid tower, empty the mana pool of the Twisted Fate, and keep the pressure that way, and always save your summoners for defensive moves when the teleports start happening from EDG. You cannot fight early on against so many globals.
They even had the early sight zone here. Reignover's got the sight zone, set up your defensive vision to keep track of Gragas. If you can keep track of Gragas, then lanes can play defensively. Down bottom, Reckless and Yellowstar fairly easily playing safe. Meanwhile, though, Deft on the other side, as you said, he's got the tier. That's all that Jace wants to stack up right now.
Sure. Again, he's not going to be super strong at the moment, but he can still sit and farm. Not a whole lot of kill pressure. Again, also with the teleports. So really, against a team that plays so much around the top laner, having so many globals is so effective because the split pushing should never really start from Huni. He will always just get jumped by 2 or 3 guys.
We'll find out how Huni's going to be able to pull himself back into the game. And we crested 10 minutes. Febiven's got a very large CS lead over Pawn. Pawn actually, CS difference at 10 is the 2nd lowest of all quarter-finalist mid laners. So he's going to have a little bit more pressure to make those side lane gank impacts more valuable.
Yeah, plus with this early home guard upgrade that you guys keep talking about and a Twisted Fate ultimate back
Said it once,
up.
Kobe.
Right, it's a great point because right now what you're looking for is the recall timers. Everybody's fighting around recall timers right now. Yes, it is about marginal CS leads, but it's the recall timer right before the big dragon fight setup here. You can already see Mako's trying to get the first line of wards down, trying to get some vision for themselves. Teleport's coming back off of cooldown.
And that dragon fight is where Fnatic needs to strike. It's not in the lanes against the globals. It's in a big 5-on-5 team fight where the enemy team is lacking 3 offensive summoners. We also see a Rod of Ages being built in the mid lane, so that's even slower stacking up. The first dragon is where Fnatic needs to be ready to fight. You have a Kennen with his ulti, you have massive AoE from Febiven, and Huni can catch out some of these low mobility targets. That's where Fnatic want to strike, but they cannot fall further behind.
Also, it's exactly where Victor shines. If Febiven can get to level 11 first, the huge amount of burst from that Victor ultimate can easily 100% somebody with a full combo of Victor if they're able to gain some vision around. around the area. Yellowstar does get hooked in, though.
He's going to head,
he
but
save
deft
his ult?
away. He's in trouble. Huni forced to flash. He's been collapsed on. Flash forward onto Pawn. He's taken 2 turret shots. The Grand Challenge may time out shortly, but that's a great charge. Backwards, Clear Love, as well as Pawn get themselves 1. Tower hits onto Koro. Will at least make it a 1 for 2. But EDG have the advantage. Level 10.
He's taking the wrong way.
He's gone the wrong direction. Clearlove has started to channel his recall. The death ray needs to hit, and it's going to. Febevin will make it 2 for 2.
And look at the difference right here, because Fnatic were not the ones making the play. They were sitting back, they were saving all the cooldowns so when this play would happen. Obviously, EDG can get the first kill because they have 3 guys going to top side, but at least you get a 2 for 2 on the side of Fnatic and you use a lot of globals.
Yeah, you have to be so careful, though, because you feel like they used a lot of globals, but they still have 2 teleports available to Vingo.
It's unfair.
Yeah, exactly.
By saying a lot of globals, they only use Twisted Fate. So take that one back. Take that one back.
All 3 teleports will be available for EDG in just a couple of seconds. And that first dragon fight is still looming. As far as Fnatic are concerned, they've got first blood in every single one of the games they've played at the World Championships thus far. They've got the first tower in every single one of the games they've played thus far. First tower's yet to fall in this matchup. But in 2/3 of their games, they've got that dragon. Fnatic's early game decision making has been pretty good. Here's this replay once more.
Yeah, and the highlight of this whole play is going to be Clearlove's ultimate on Gragas. So see here, Rainover does make a good play, you know, knocking up Pawn inside the turret, but Clearlove right here, the target right back out. They're able to get their kill. Gold card there from Pawn. Koro does go a little bit too deep. They might have been able to finish it off without him sacrificing, but it's actually pretty close there, so won't knock it too hard.
Still, Huni stays alive for quite a while. It buys time for the rest of Fnatic to move up there. We have to talk about the fact, though, that Febevin, again, is not running teleport.
Yeah.
If he had it, this play would be so much more risky for EDG to pull off, because he could instantly join in, he could turn it around. But he's building more again towards these team fights. He wants that cleanse. So he's going to be so hard to kill late game when EDG try and go for him.
The thing I like about all of this globals and the fact that EDG can hit Fnatic where they really are strongest in their skirmishes and playing around their side lanes is the fact that Fnatic showed weakness to that exact playstyle in the summer split. He's now been jumped on by Koro. Very nicely played. Will be able to get that knock-up and escape. And gets the grand challenge out of Koro, who hit level 11 first.
So we have TP for both top laners. Huni has ulti ready as well, and you can see Fnatic already start roaming around the dragon down here on the bottom side. They want to get these team fights going.
Pawn's going to get dove here. They've got Alistar coming in behind the turret.
Oh, Pawn's in so much trouble. Yellowstar needs to hit his combo. Flashes for the knock-up hit, but Pawn backwards. Fago saves him, keeps him alive. Huni's in trouble. He slides and glides and dunks down. Will lock in Gragas, but it may not be enough. Reckless will sidestep the shock blast before Pawn has teleported with 100 hit points. He flashes it and gets the kill. Rainover died on the top half of the map, and EDG decimate Fnatic.
They just completely outplayed
The dominoes are still going down here.
It's just Yellowstar.
Is this actually going to happen? Yellowstar's
coming.
Feeling confident. The Unbreakable Will is available and the Exhaust. Yellowstar wants to dive. He's got the teleport and Yellowstar's pulling back. Febevin's arrived, but Koro may want to fight, and Fnatic feeling the pressure, down 2,000 goals.
So we have this dive in the mid lane. Mako, he saw it, he moved in, he saved his mid laner first. And then we have fights in every single lane. Fnatic pushing on this tower, Koro's here to defend.
I love the chain reaction when there are so many globals in the game. One fight breaks out on one side of the map and immediately 3 other do. Now, we also want to see if Crow face checks his brush. Looks like he's going to skirt around it. But again, checking back in on that EDG story, they focused a lot more around top lane to get Koro ahead, to make sure that Koro succeeds with a lot of these globals, to make sure that he can then affect the rest of the maps tonight.
Do they cancel? No.
All spotted on the pink ward. So they play more around Koro. He's on Fiora. They have globals. They have pink wards early on for him as well. But this coordination and communication from EDG is what we didn't see from the Chinese teams in the group stage. They couldn't pull off these multiple TP plays in time. Right here, this play is so insane. On 3 lanes from EDG. Dive on top side, fight in the bottom lane, instant teleport down to join that one as well. Rainover trying to do his best out of a top side.
But yeah, 2 versus 1 is difficult.
And Fnatic lose something in every single lane.
2 people who have been shining lights for Fnatic. Huni and Reignover 0-3, 2-1, 4-1. Luckily for Fnatic, there is strong wave clear from Febiven's Victor. Unluckily, they may have to wave clear on multiple lanes thanks to all of the map pressure EDG can apply in the coming minutes. The second tower falls. Fnatic keep gold lead relatively close, 2,000.
Oh, well, we have another face check here. Let's wait for this fight to be over.
Huni's going to chase down. He's going to find the Vital. Huni's going to slide himself to safety. But Koro's winning the duel time and time again.
Again, Clear Love top once again. They just want to make sure that Koro keeps Huni down. Another tower dive incoming.
There's no flash for Clear Love, but he connects the body slam. Huni's caught for a little while, flashes the cask and gets knocked backwards. Will Koro and Clear Love get away? Reignover is going to go for the knockup. He's not going to find it. Koro puts the challenge onto Reignover, and Yellow Star's still far away. Huni's got the Cataclysm. He needs to find the target. Yellow Star's lumped up Koro, and Maiko with the Lantern of Life.
The Thresh, so underrated in these global comps. We talked about it being so important for Origin when they were running the double TP. Maiko has saved the mid game here for EDG. Remember, all of these plays that EDG made across the map, up in top lane and down in bottom lane, were because the mid lane dive that Fnatic were trying to pull off failed. When that tower dive failed with 4 people from Fnatic committed, EDG just got to spread across the map and punish Fnatic so heavily. If it wasn't for that, it would have been a trade. You know, just top lane Huni dying for mid lane Pawn dying, and Fnatic would have got that mid lane turret.
The only good thing for Fnatic at the moment is the fact they can keep pushing out these towers with all these guys leaving the lanes to teleport around. But EDG is doing exactly the same and getting the kill. So they're ahead in goal, 19 minutes in, and they've really been pulling off some very coordinated plays we didn't expect to see from EDG. Or the same EDG we saw in group stage.
Yeah.
It's a very, very different team already.
EDG averaged a 200 gold lead at 20 minutes. In this game, it's 10 times that. It's near 2,000. And we'll get the first dragon uncontested as Fnatic concede that objective. And for EDG, they are looking exceptional. Take a look at Pawn's build. Rod of Age has been stacking for 5 minutes. Lichbane is a second item.
Yeah.
Thanks to Koro's kills and farm, he's got that Black Cleaver picked up. And even Deft has picked up some armor pain, getting closer to that last Whisper. So those shock blasts are going to do a number on Fnatic's defense and allow EDG to siege and poke them away from the tower.
Yeah, Twisted Fate plus Jace poke is going to be able to keep Fnatic under turret here. Luckily for Fnatic, they do have the King of Wave Clear, Victor.
And I don't think EDG necessarily is looking too much to groove up and poke with their comp here, because
Well, they've cut 3 teleports.
That's the thing.
have to agree
Exactly,
with you on that.
because Fnatic also running with the hard engage off the job, and Huni, while he didn't have a good early game because he's been camped so much up in that top side, he can still engage the fight and lock in one of these targets, burst them down with Febiven for Fnatic. So if EDG wants to play it safe in some way, they keep running 1-3-1. With all these teleports here, have your Twisted Fate sit in mid and just keep going to both side lanes.
I think the thing that you do, though, is you combo your Twisted Fate with your Jace, because in the mid lane, Twisted Fate can then teleport to either side, you know, while Jace and Twisted Fate are poking in the mid lane. Plus, Jace has a speed boost he can use to disengage for them.
Gentlemen, Yellow Star, he fancies this one. He's going to pulverize onto Clear Love. The Unbreakable Will is there as well. Reignover's jumped in. Deft has got dunked by the Cataclysm, and he's dropped. The Grand Challenge is onto Huni, and it procs, healing up EDG. But it does not matter. Koro's killed through the heal. Clear Love stunned up by Reckless. The pulverize connects. Fnatic find 3 kills. And they set their sights on Baron. They've peeled backwards.
We just talked about how EDG does not want to group up, because then the hard engage from Fnatic can happen. And what do we see? Well, they get the fight. They start the Baron.
Yes, they're going for Baron here, and it's just Pawn and Maiko on the outside, going to try and poke them off of it here.
Find out if they do. Maiko's gonna need to wind up that chain and find a target. 2,500 hit points on Baron. Paul is gonna throw the wild cards. They killed Yellow Star. The Baron's secured. Will they win the fight? Pawn's knocked up. Reckless looks for the stun. He's got one. He's got 2. They've got Baron. Fnatic lead. EDG.
What a play from Fnatic. They know how strong they can be in a 5-on-5 team fight. Yellow Star was baiting it, and he goes in first. Reignover with the flank. Everyone from Fnatic collapses.
You have to be decisive when you're facing this much global pressure. And Yellow Star, the captain, the shot caller for the team, makes the play. He dodges the hook from Mako, circles around, Rain over teleports in, and they're able to get the fight they want. Deft here, stuck in the middle, can't even click the lantern and had to flash out.
Well,
Meanwhile, they've got Koro as well.
Again, this time around, Fnatic catching Koro, the straggler.
What's going on here? We just praised EDG for the coordination there. Great communication, suddenly using 3 teleports. Koro just got completely caught out for absolutely no reason. Grouping up earlier as well. Get the team out for Fnatic. They just turned this game around.
You have to be so careful. When you are running a high pressure team with multiple teleports, you have to coordinate your pressure. You can't just have one person splitting while the rest of you are, half your team is purchasing in base. Everyone has to coordinate their wave pushes. Bottom and top need to push at the same time. There, Koro was just pushing by himself. Nobody else from EDG applying pressure. So Fnatic collapse and they get a nice kill. With Baron buff afterwards, it means they get a whole bunch of objectives afterwards as well.
And of course, because Deft was dunked so early on, he never got to deal damage. Febiven's early advantage gives him some help. So congratulations to Fnatic. They knocked down the inner turret in the bottom lane, knocked down the inner turret in the middle lane. They may lose their top lane. Pawn has got a large minion wave to play with, has got a Lich Bane as well. So it's a 2-for-1 trade, and Fnatic are peeling backwards. Their recalls were interrupted.
So this is a play EDG has pulled off quite a lot back in the LPL, but they're trying to always trade objectives. They knew, okay, we can't really defend properly. They could maybe even tower dive us if we tried to. Our only wave player is the Twisted Fate at the moment, so just use him instead just to get something. So they take a tower, but Fnatic can still be super happy with the last 5 minutes.
Especially with the Baron buff on Fnatic. So difficult to try and clear those minions. But EG do get something back for themselves during the duration.
But that was the whole discussion we had before here. What do you do with your EDG? Who do you send down to the second side lane? Because you have Fiora sitting in one of them, split pushing. Do you send down Deft to sit on his own with the Jace because he doesn't offer that much wave clear in the mid lane and you want to have the Twisted Fate who can go to both lanes? Do you group them up and start poking? Again, that's so risky because of the hard engage that can happen. So they need to be able to put pressure on all 3 lanes. You can see Deft go towards top side now and set that 1-3-1 up for EDG. But they're so far back on the map. It just becomes a lot more harder now.
And because Fnatic just got such a big mid-game play, they got a whole bunch of vision while they were doing that. Not only did they take down a bunch of turrets, but with a double Sightstone for Fnatic, they've been able to lay so much vision down in EDG territory. As soon as EDG try and set up one of these plays, that does take a while to get there, Fnatic will know about it.
Look at all those wards in the bottom half of the map. Pawn did walk over that pink ward, pinged it out, and has actually gone back to kill that resource for Fnatic. And for Fnatic, Dragon's up in 5 seconds. They do have the timer. They're deciding with all their information and shove those waves in as best we can and try to secure at least the first objective. Only 2 Dragons at 25 minutes. It's not been a primary focus for either of these teams.
It's all been about top lane, really. So far away from Dragon, basically all the plays in the early game. This just to get to 6%. Let's see what happens. Hooney's going on Clearlove.
Yep, he's got him.
Clearlove's in trouble. He's going to get headbutted out of the Cataclysm, but Hooney follows up with a great Dragon Strike.
Another pick here for Fnatic. And again, that Dragon that Fnatic got is actually fairly big because, 26 minutes into the game, the 6% does mean a lot, and it was awarded to them because they had so much deep vision from that last push. On top of it, they catch Clearlove here. EDG starting to crumble.
Yeah, they really need to stop getting caught out because every time that happens, their split push breaks. Because suddenly now you have to back away from your side lane. You have to respect the fact Fnatic are 5 members on the map. So Koro now has to go really far back. He cannot use the big wave. Fnatic can set up another slow push and then start grouping again and look for another fight.
And of course, Clearlove, this isn't the first time he's been caught out of position. Much like Hooney, throughout the group stages, both players being a little over-aggressive in their positioning, maybe too far forward. All the tempo is now sitting with Fnatic.
I just want to re-highlight, how important we talked about Thresh is in this composition. Right there was a perfect example where Clearlove should have been with Mako. That is a support jungle duo that's supposed to be getting vision because Gragas Thresh is so safe if they are together. However, no Mako there, Clearlove gets caught, he gets pushed around, and they lose more space.
Items continue to stack up. Koro's had the Ravenous Hydra versus the Titanic Hydra of Hooney. Muramana has been completed for Deft. And the 3-item spike for Reckless has come in. So Everybody's scaling. Pawn's got himself that hourglass as well, so a couple of tricky plays can be initiated with the Destiny. Fnatic playing it safe, pushing those waves out slowly but surely. Top will be going towards EDG in the next few moments. And that will give a couple of tools for Fnatic. A minute till Baron. Fnatic love Baron.
It's their thing.
I feel like EDG do as well.
Both teams often play so much around like these 25 minutes, get one fight, get a pick, and then take that Baron instant and use it to close the game out. But for EDG in these team fights, if we get the 5-on-5, who do they want to kill? Obviously, we're looking at Reckless, we're looking at Febivit. There's a cleanse on one of them, so that's very smart. That was a sacrifice by not having teleport early on. And then Kennen is one of these AD carries who play really well for himself because he has a massive AoE aura. He can stun you if the aura goes in there with squishy targets and take them down.
Not only that, but going with this build for Reckless, it's all based around sustain and auto attack speed. So he's getting off multiple stuns, multiple charges, and you just buy a little bit of time, steal up more life because you're life stealing on all of these targets with your double life steal build. If you don't focus him and burst him down, then he'll sustain through the whole fight. He'll continue to throw out these annoying mini stuns and provide that CC that Fnatic need because they have Huni who likes to run damage in top lane.
And if we get an aggressive ulti in the backline from a Twisted Fate to lock down a target, then all 5 members of EDG are stuck in there. They're all trying to get to the same guy. 2 melee champions for Deft and Koro. Or, well, Deft when he wants to burst at least. Let's see what
Yellow
happens
Star
here.
again.
2 teleports available for EDG as their solos are down in the bottom. Double stun on Clearlove and Mako. They've already got Mako. Clearlove's looking to get away as Reckless looks for the stun. Finds it. May not get another. Continues to auto-attack. 2 members down. With
Dangerous
fight,
play, though.
Fnatic may need to defend. Koro and Pawn, they've got an inner turret. They've got a minion wave to work with. And Fnatic, they're a little split. Huni's decided to back away. Febivin is already in the base, and the rest of the team on Baron.
Yep, he can't do it by himself. It doesn't matter. Pawn and Koro are going to be able to take this, and he's also got to be careful about getting killed. Let's see if Fnatic can take that Baron, though.
Koro's in so much trouble. The Cataclysm locks them both in, and with the Chaos Storm and the Death Ray, Febivin's already got a kill. The knockup doesn't connect, but it does not matter.
Huni comes in to dunk while they take the Baron. Now Fnatic can press in. They should get an inhibitor off of this.
And much like the first time we saw Huni play Jarvan, he got shut down in the early game, but once we get past the laning phase, he's able to create picks with the rest of his team. But this really is Fnatic knowing how strong they are around Baron. The way they set it up, they force EDG to come face check, flank around them, get the engage once again, and they manage to constantly force team fights on EDG.
Part of the reason why quadruple global teleport comps are so rare is because they take so much precision to pull off. Quite a lofty task.
So I will admit, after watching this Jace pick from Deft, I was super hyped at first because you talked about how he played it in
glad we were
solo
on
queue.
it, but it hasn't really shown
He's really
up
done
why.
absolutely nothing.
Meanwhile, the Kennen, huge for Reckless.
Even laning phase, completely even. Deft always used his teleport back to lane. He had no pressure on the map, really. Huni's gonna catch him.
Well, a little bit of trouble here for Pawn. Lock
him
up,
up.
not gonna happen. Pawn makes it out with 200 hit points, but Fnatic with the Baron-empowered minions, they're knocking on the middle and bottom lanes. There's a teleport to the inhibitor. Pawn is going to secure this one. He may even be able to get out alive. He's definitely been reviewing the backdoor
He has
tactics.
no minions, though,
But
at all.
Huni's got home guards, though. He's got home guards. He's coming in for the repeat dunk.
There is no Cataclysm. I think losing 1 life for supers might be worth it if the rest of EDG can defend. There's no teleport for Huni.
But
Fnatic
he was the
is right
wave
up in the
clear.
face.
He was the wave clear that just disappeared to take an inhibitor, nothing else. There was no minions, so he couldn't go further and threatened to backdoor the Nexus as well. So Fnatic knew, okay, well, he's gonna get 1, but now we don't really care because he's gone. We can easily just push up. Huni's going to join his team, and that's 5 members from Fnatic. They can dive EDG super easy.
Cataclysm's only a few seconds away, but this tower is down. It has been deconstructed in front of EDG's faces. The second inhibitor falls, and there are supers on 2 lanes for Fnatic. This is the single lane for EDG.
I do not think that was worth it. Just even if you traded 1 for 1 in terms of inhibitors, because Huni could even have stayed with his team and just went straight for EDG.
If you look at that gold difference, when teams have had a gold lead at 20 minutes at the World Championship, they have an 89% win ratio. Currently, Fnatic's looking to be the 11%. They've turned the game around after one successful team fight. One misstep from EDG.
Well, these
swung it completely
EDG are
in
running,
favor.
as we said, such a delicate team composition that takes so much precision. If you make that one mid-game mistake, we saw how heavily Fnatic were able to punish them for it. Huge, huge swing.
Trinity Force completed for Deft. Another thing he's done quite a lot on this Jace. And it's somewhat weird because he gets it so late in the game, it normally doesn't do much. Like 30 attack damage, 32 minutes in is not a massive upgrade for a very expensive item. But it seems to be more, he wants the movement speed from it, he wants the Sheen proc to get a little bit more burst.
Yeah.
But he can never really go in hammer form against this Fnatic lineup because they want him to jump in with the rest of the team. So they have Kennen AoE, Victor AoE, Alistar knock up everything to just take down these squishy targets. So I don't really agree with his Trinity Force buy.
Pawn has realized the error of his ways, joined the rest of EDG to wave clear under this turret. Baron has worn out, so Fnatic are waiting for those supers. They're pushing through the middle lane quite deep. Unfortunately for Fnatic, there's going to be multiple supers in the bottom lane pushing against them, so there is a little bit of a timer working against this top lane siege.
Yeah, right now, EDG are hoping that Fnatic stick around and are a little bit too aggressive. Because EDG's only chance here is to make an all-in at the turret, whereas Fnatic can just wait around. They've got all the cards.
We'll see when they reveal them, Kobe. Another minion wave has danced its way up to this top tower. How quickly Pawn can clear them. Melees are down to half hit points. Reckless gets chunked. Gold card comes out and Clearlove has found him. Reckless gets pushed backwards and he's shut down by Deft. This could be the team fight that turns it around. Two members of Fnatic are down for only Clearlove from EDG. Featherfin's forced to retreat. The double kill will be added to Koro's score. Fnatic lose 4.
EDG do it. They pull off the only thing that they possibly could, an all-in under the turret. And they, well, can they chase down Forbidden here? It looks like Koro's going to be able to.
Look at all the minions on the bottom side here. There's double teleport for EDG if they want to take that wave and start pushing in towards them. They want the kill first and then try and go maybe and finish the game.
Well,
Featherfin needs to buy time. There's 20 seconds before his teammates are alive. And if EDG are unlucky, they will be able to take him down, but the supers may not be able to be enough. Slicing Maelstrom
He bought
still
a lot of
available.
time.
yeah,
So
5 seconds left on Reckless. I think they're okay.
Right here for Fnatic, they got a little bit too greedy for that tower. Reckless walked up very close, 550 range, took a massive hit in the face from Deft, and then the flash forward. There's no cleanse for him, no QSS, nothing to save him. That was EDG needed. They invested everything to kill
They
him.
just dropped all the cards. Everybody up on the turret is exactly as you said. And then Pawn, right after seeing the poke land, Pawn goes in for the flash gold card on Reckless. That's a signal. Clearlove flashes in, and they're able to take him out immediately.
So key that Clearlove flashes forward. Otherwise, Yellowstar might have been able to just headbutt him away and avoid Reckless being shot back into the team, but he flashes forward there. He guarantees it's going to happen. They win the fight.
Exactly. They knew this was their only hope. Then all in at that turret. They've got 2 inhibitors down, super minions coming, and they came up clutch, made a big play. Fnatic still definitely in the driver's seat, still definitely with a huge lead here, but EDG clawing back.
And as we come out of that replay, Reckless has completed the Quicksilver Sash.
He learned.
How
He
different
learned.
that fight could have been. This time around, Reckless gets dunked and deals no damage that fight, thanks to the great work of Pawn, Koro, and Clearlove. Fnatic, their 10k gold lead has shrunk to 4k, and inhibitors will be respawning very soon for EDG, so this will reset the map pressure.
Yeah, Baron's up in 20 seconds though. So Fnatic are going to try and grab the scuttle and work on vision around this area.
They have teleport ready for Huni, so he can stay on the bottom side and always control that wave with the super minions coming in case someone for EDG pushes it back. And as long as you bait around Baron, it's so easy to go push out top and mid lanes at the same time for Fnatic. So this will nullify the globals a little bit from EDG and make it easier for Fnatic to get a 5-on-5 team fight. You even saw Huni with Home Guard sitting and waiting in base. And just saying, oh,
yeah, it's going back to
again.
Fountain
So
right now. Oh.
He knows they're going to be wards behind EDG, and he wants to guarantee that engage.
This is the most intense moment for the shot callers. This is where you make or break the game.
There's no room for mechanical misplays.
Every second means Pawn gets closer and closer to that bottom inhibitor as well. And Fnatic can't make up their minds. Rainover goes back and he's left the tunnel. They're going to commit.
Death Sentence finds Yellow Star, and the Baron's being bursted so quickly. Pawn has started to channel his TP, but it may be too late. 2,500 hit points on Baron. Will it get secured by Fnatic? And it does. The knockup finds 2, the dunk finds 4, and the Maelstrom melts Edward Gaming, sending a massive message that Fnatic want to win the first game in this series. Koro and Def are running for their lives, and they will get run down. Def will drop the hammer, but it will not matter. Reckless gets the kill, 9, 2, and 4, and Fnatic should knock down the Nexus.
EDG unable to use their split push because of the Baron, and you saw Yellowstar sit ready to headbutt Clearlove away, so he couldn't get close. He had to just try and throw in his ulti. Wasn't enough, and Fnatic are looking to take the first game.
Fnatic have got Baron-empowered minions knocking down the Nexus. Koro will follow shortly, and as Edward Gaming are aced, Fnatic take the advantage and are one step closer to a semi-final spot.
Great decisive mid-game there from Fnatic. Yellowstar and Co. making a huge turnaround.
And that is so key for Fnatic because they were on blue side in this game here. Every single team in playoffs, they picked the blue side. So it's supposed to be the stronger one. They get the first win on it. They had some target bans coming in this time.
Yep.
Obviously, we had EDG banning the Mordekais and Gangplank against Fnatic. They can change that for the next game. Maybe look towards Rainover even more and say, Lee's and Rek'Sai, we're going to remove both of them from your pool.
So, AD carry Jace definitely did not work out
It
as
gets a
intended.
1 out of 10 in this game.
But